Hello everyone, welcome to every episode of Epic Rap Battles of History Season 1 Reviewed. Now, I am a huge fan of Epic Rap Battles of History, but over some time a lot of people have been saying that the entire series have been going down the crapper recently. With Season 1 being a very mixed season, Season 2 through 4 was considered one of the best eras for epic rap battles of history, and Season 5 was considered really horrible, and Season 6 was considered to be a pretty okay season from what we've seen. And yeah, I can agree that possibly that Season 1 might not be the best to watch, especially since it's pretty outdated. But hey, let's give it a fair shot and review every single episode of ERB. But before we do that, let me just name a few things before we get started. I am going off of lyrics, background, characters, etc., etc. So if I like a battle, like let's just say, let's take an epic rap battle parodies video for example, the Blues Brothers versus Drake and Josh. I like both the Blues Brothers and Drake and Josh, so I have a lot of context going into it. And yeah, I did like the rap battle as a whole. But then you take Hugh Hefner versus Pee Wee Herman. I don't know the characters very well, but I still like the rap battle either way. So it just has to be really entertaining. The song has to be really good. And of course, the entire thing needs to be considerably great. I'm going also off a beat, whether I like listening to the beat in the background. If I don't like the beat, it won't drag the entire thing down to a meh, which, let's get into the ratings. We got a which is technically in the middle, the golden rating, which is meaning that the episode's pretty much almost perfect, and then we got a bad rating. Obviously, it's not that good. And with all that being said, let's start in with video/rap/episode 1. Episode 1, John Lennon vs. Bill O'Reilly. Now this one was a very weird one to start the Epic Rap Battles of History series. I mean, think about it. Like, John Lennon versus Bill O'Reilly, what do they really have in common? Like, I mean, take for example, later battles we'd have, Darth Vader versus Adolf Hitler, which, that makes sense because they're both really huge supervillains. Now, this was also a very weird battle because this is their only battles with no subtitles. It would later be fixed in the Season 1 HD version of the battle. That's on ERB Episode 2. I also really like some of the verses on here, like the whole help, like the whole, like it's all edited and everything. It's really cool. Though the acting isn't the best, because like John Lennon's kind of more like the I'm a chill guy, I'm all about peace, but he kind of gives like the you're making my ears bleed, I need a muzzle, like why would that be how it started? And Bill O'Reilly was okay, and the costumes I would say they're passable, but the backgrounds. I do like how John Lennon kind of comes in, like, steps over the TV intro and everything, but other than that, it's just I like some of it. If they would to remake this, honestly, make Lennon on, like, a yellow submarine and make Bill O'Reilly actually in, like, a better newsroom that kind of represents what he has. But even, like, now to this day, it's but back then, probably many people might think it's not so but even if it was their first battle, I would say it's still Next up, we have, let's see here. Yes. Episode 2, Darth Vader versus Adolf Hitler. Wow, I was just talking about that. Anyways, this is actually how epic rap battles of history should have started. It should have started with Adolf Hitler versus Darth Vader. I think this is actually one of the more funny ones. The whole, like, the freaking part where it's like, freaking Hitler and him just being this, like, tiny little nuisance. And then at the very end, he gets frozen. He's like, suck my robot balls. Adolf does actually have a very long verse at the end. but he does. It's not as confusing as like what would happen in season 5, where like a certain character, which we'll get to in episode 5, where just takes like a long time. It's like let's just say, for example, Thomas Jefferson versus Frederick Douglass, where it was just very long, and it's like why is this one to watch? This one is the best, and it deserves a rewatch or two. I agree with myself on that one, because it is that good. Also, this was the first rap battles to have a sequel. I think the only other one was another one coming up, and I won't spoil it. Also, the backgrounds for the sequels also wouldn't change. But, I mean, I'm fine with that. Like, it's fine, because, like, it's a space background for Vader, and it's a old black and white photo for Adolf Hitler. And I think Peter and Lloyd play really well as Adolf Hitler and Darth Vader, respectively. And at the end of the day, I'd say, like, this one ain't my favorite one, but it's definitely in my top 3. Anyways, I will have to say that this one is a golden, our first ever golden, and definitely deserves to be watched again and again and again. Also, isn't it weird that this is like one of the very first edgy epic rap battles of history ones? We're not even 3 episodes in. Yeah. Next up, we have Abe Lincoln versus Chuck freaking Norris. Alright, here comes the big one that might make a lot of people mad. I don't even remember this battle. To this day, unlike Darth Vader and a little bit of John Lennon versus Bill O'Reilly, I don't remember this battle. All I could remember is, Abe Lincoln saying, "I won the Civil War with my beard. Now I come to kick your," And, honestly, I just kind of feel like Peter tried doing like the whole, "I'm an old man, but I also want the kids to be off my lawn." Which, like, I don't like it. It's really annoying. And, like, they yell so much in this battle. It's so, like, Chuck Norris coming up, he's like, I don't like that. That's really, This is just, like, one that I think, it just goes in It's not bad, it's just really not memorable. I also think having a grill is kind of off. I mean, I understand George Washington not having a grill like that, because he had dental problems. And fun fact, this was the first battle that has a character grow for the first time, which is very odd. I mean, like, it's not that big of a deal, and it's also the first time we actually see a different background other than just hay and a tree, which, again, I don't think really sets with Abraham Lincoln, other than he cut trees when he was pretty young. I really feel bad that I have to say it's because this was the very first ever Abraham Lincoln rap battle, but, yeah, well, it's just, Next up, we have episode 4, Sarah Palin versus Lady Gaga. This is one of the first episodes to be with girls. Only girls, and, well, technically with one girl, but it's the first lady-on-lady battle, technically, if you think about it. And it's also the first episode to be bad. Only 4 episodes in, and we already have a bad rap. That's honestly very sad. And it's mostly because of a few things. One, the person who plays Sarah Palin, I'm sorry, you might be a good person in real life, but you had the most annoying, squealy voice. And she drags this battle down to bad just for that. It's like, "Oh boy, look who we have here! A little transvestite with..." It's like so annoying. I can't even remember the rap. And other than that, it's really forgettable. Like, I don't remember, like, other than, like, "You're the mayor of Alaska," that's like being the owner of a school. Yeah, no, that just sucked, honestly. I'm sorry. It's like, other than that, it's just so forgettable. And there's nothing else remembrance about it, like, other than Peter dressed up as Lady Gaga. I kind of find that a little funny. But the fact that, like, Sarah Palin, I never heard of her in, like, for 10 years, so it's honestly just, It just makes this battle boring, annoying, and a huge stain on ERB Season 1 history. Later, we get better female ERB battles, like, not Lady Gaga, Miley Cyrus versus Joan of Arc. And there was another one that I'm trying to remember. Romeo and Juliet versus Bonnie and Clyde. That was a really good one. I really do want to know who thought of this idea. Peter, Lloyd, was it Zach? It's probably Zach. Next up, episode 5, Hulk Hogan versus Kim Jong-il. Alright, so these two don't really have much in common other than, I guess, they were very popular back in the 80s, I guess. I don't know. I don't know too much about Hulk Hogan or Kim Jong-il. But unlike John Lennon versus Bill O'Reilly, this one's honestly very cool, and it's a golden. Believe it or not, I think this was really funny. The comment about how Kim Jong-il looks like Sonic's mother and how Macho Man came in as a newcomer. Which, fun fact, this is the first battle with a newcomer, which is just automatically really cool. Like, we have not seen a battle up to this point that just had like a random character just come in. Also, this was the very first ever episode that came in, just kind of came through, and it was like, wow, look at this, like, it looked way better. And I say watch both just for the differences, which are very noticeable. All around, this was way better than episode 1, 3, and 4. That's why, in my opinion, it's one of the best episodes of ERB history. So yeah, just take that for what you will. Next up, we have Justin Bieber versus Beethoven, which is episode 6. Okay, let's get the positives out of the way. I think Beethoven how Beethoven was played was spot on, and like that whole verse about Bach. Honestly, that could have been really cool for a battle to have Bach as a character. Which, believe it or not, I think there was one where it was going to be Tupac versus Bach, which, honestly, in my opinion, would be really cool. But another thing that's really cool about this battle was they edited this one a little bit better, I would say. Like, they used the piano instead of, like, editing in, like, how Kim Jong-il in the last battle had to look up and swallow, like, a very huge pill. But in this one, like, they actually had a big piano, you flips it over. And I like how Beethoven turned Bieber into an actual usher, not like an usher as we hear it now. And all around, his verses were good. But that's where my praises end. Justin Bieber made this battle just so annoying. His rapping/singing wasn't good. He mostly just flexed and said, "Whoa, you were deaf." Loser. Bieber just sucked in this battle. Not disrespecting the guy, but that's kind of why I have to give it an eh. But I did like the verse where, obviously, Beethoven calls Justin Bieber girls, like, in Germany, we don't hit little girls. And that's honestly just funny. Also, another thing about this battle, like, if they tried remaking it today, who would play Justin Bieber? Peter? Lloyd? You decide. Next up, episode 7, Albert Einstein versus Stephen Hawking. This battle is golden. Obviously, in my opinion, this is one of the best ones, and here's why. They used auto-tune very good in this battle. The whole, "you got no idea what you're messing with here, boy," is like really good. The disses in this one, like the whole, you sound like Wally with a speaking spell, The sound effects of how Einstein, like how I just said, like how he says while having, with a speaking spell. I love that auto-tune. I don't know why. It was just so good. This was the very first battle to actually have Zach Sherwin in it, and he did really well as Einstein. Obviously, pulling off the face, it works very well. Also, I don't know how they got the wheelchair for Einstein? Did they just buy one? Did they modify one? I don't know. And honestly, they both fit into their characters very well. And also, I like that shock of, like, Stephen Hawking just kind of looking down, and he just looks up, and he's, like, really angry, and it's like, there are 10 million galaxies in the universe that we can observe. You know, like, I can name the lyrics off my head, which I can't say for some of the other battles that I've already gave S to, but this one, in my opinion, is still golden, and you should watch this one. You will not be disappointed. This is one of the classic ERB songs to this day, and I think a lot of people like this one way more than they like possibly any other ones in season 1. Episode 8, Genghis Khan versus the Easter Bunny. This is legit one of the most dumbest epic rap battles of history battles I have ever watched. You know why they did this? Because Genghis Khan has millions of children because of his pillages, just like how rabbits would have millions of children. This was also supposed to be apparently an Easter special, I guess. I don't know. This battle has a very annoying character, the Easter Bunny, which is all, oh, stop! What are you doing? Like, okay, stop. And a very dumb version. Like, oh, you invented hip-hop! It's so dumb. It's also kind of forgettable as well. Like, I can't remember a single thing that Genghis Khan even says. Honestly, this was, like, the most... What could you do with this, like, battle? Like, you have this you got this gigantic dictator. You could have done legit anybody with Genghis Khan. Like, you could have done Genghis Khan versus Saddam Hussein. I guess they were different, but they were both in Asia. They're both known for being very horrible human beings, you know? But it's just really dumb that they just did Genghis Khan like this. It's bad. You don't agree? What are you gonna do? Throw peeps at me? And, you know, I kind of wish that they did something better for this horrible dictator. Speaking of horrible dictator, you know that we were talking about horrible dictators? Well, we got Napoleon versus Napoleon. Now, this was a very good battle. Now, I think Lloyd did a very good French impression, French accent on Napoleon. And, you know, Nice Peter did really good performing Napoleon with his whole, oh, whatever kind of attitude. And also, you might be thinking, who do I think is really the winner? Is it Napoleon? Maybe it's Napoleon. Which one? Well, let's just say they ride an animal. And obviously, this episode's golden. I don't really have much to say other than you should go watch the battle. Watch it now. I really have nothing else to say. Well, let's move on to Billy Mays versus Ben Franklin. So, I didn't get why these two had a battle. I actually had to look it up. But it was because they both have a lot to do with inventions, and they both make pitches. I never knew that Ben Franklin was like that. It was pretty cool to look that up. I think the Sham Wow guy coming in as a other character, well, after Billy Mays passes away with a heart attack, was actually pretty funny because it was like the announcer was like, "What's going to happen, guys? What's going to happen?" Kind of like what he did in Hulk Hogan versus Kim Jong-il. And I think it's funny that the Sham Wow guy was like talking about how he's going to beat the crap out of Ben Franklin. I also like how when he brags out to Sham Wow, Ben Franklin's just flying a kite, and I thought that was funny. And this might seem pretty dark, but at the very end, Billy Mays is in heaven. Wow, that is just so dark, but I love it. And then I also like how Ben just immediately goes, because he's so big, he goes, ugh, and then that one line about how he's like, I'm money, and he was like actually on a dollar bill. That was funny. And then there was also the fact that Billy Mays just kind of broke through a table. This battle was golden. If you want to get a good laugh with some friends, you should watch it. It's really funny. And honestly, it's probably one of my top favorites. But we'll get into that later. Episode 11, Gandalf vs Dumbledorf. Want to know something? I don't remember anything from this battle. Yeah, just like most of my ones that I don't like, I don't remember anything, like, at all. I don't remember any verses. I don't remember most of the costumes. I don't even remember this battle existing until I started reading the script. Like, I don't watch Hobbit or Harry Potter, so this battle really ain't for me. But, like, Vader and, like, both 1, 2, and 3, I liked all of them. I liked his verses in all three of the battles, and I'm not even a Star Wars guy. In a later battle, there's a character that I don't even know, like, anything about his series, but I still like him, and, you know, it's still cool. I don't read a lot of books, but yet I like the Stephen King versus Edgar Allan Poe battle. So, it's really bad that I don't even remember anything. Not the verse, not the beat. The costumes, I barely remember them, yet the rest of it is just so lacking. I can't give it an A. I really can't. So, it's a bad. Now, I think it's on the lower part of bad, meaning it's near yet it's not getting off the hook. I do have to say that as much as I hate the other episodes, at least they do have some redeeming qualities. Like, for example, I don't really like John Lennon versus Bill O'Reilly, but at least, like, it was a start, but it was really good. But this has no redeeming qualities. I have no reason to go back and watch it. And if you don't watch Hobbit or Harry Potter, just don't go there. Don't go there and watch it because honestly, it's not worth your time. Episode 12, Dr. Seuss vs Shakespeare. This is the episode I have two problems with that already brings it down to eh. Or will it be bad? Well, let's see. It might be rad. First, I like Shakespeare's rap. The background when Dr. Seuss draws it was really cool seeing the effects. And it's just really cool. Like, it's really nice and feels lively, but there's two things that really tick me off. As I said before, but let's go. The things are annoying. The thing 1 and things 2, God, my ears hurt. And then just the fact, like, they're near the same level of Sarah Palin versus, what was her name? Oh, great, I already forgot. Lady Gaga. That's what it was. That's pretty sad, in my opinion. Then, there's also the fact that Dr. Seuss doesn't even say one verse. He doesn't speak throughout the entire battle, which, in my opinion, doesn't make sense. Even characters that can't hear anything, they still talk and, like, act normal. Like, Stephen Hawking physically can't talk, yet they still added him in a battle. But, oh no, he didn't, like, he did talk. And then there's also the, one thing, I'm getting so angry that I can't even speak my mind. So is it bad? No, I'm giving it an eh. It's fine. Also, I'm happy this episode has Walski in it. And I like that part where Dr. Seuss raises up the brush and draws Cat in the Hat, which Cat in the Hat did good. I'm fine with that, but it's Cat in the Hat. I'm fine with that. But other than that, I have to give it an eh. I'm sorry that I dragged this out, but, you know, it was just that bad. I mean, eh. Next up, we got Mr. T versus Mr. Rogers. So howdy, neighbor. This is a funny battle. Why? It's because it has a calm, soothing guy who's just roasting this big, muscular guy who is also known for being very intense. This also has a really cool beat where it goes like from big, hardcore, dirty, nasty, rotten alleyways, street fights to, hi neighbor, you want to come in? I got some tuna casserole in the other room. Why is it always tuna casserole? I never got that. I also like the ender for the first verse of Mr. Rogers, which you can see is the best verse. I think it's golden. Also, it's just funny to see Mr. T getting just so angry at a person who's known for being a nice neighbor, or is it just me? I recommend this to anyone if you like any of these characters, or even if you don't. Also, the backgrounds aren't just spinning pictures, which I think that really started with Dr. Seuss versus Shakespeare, but still, it's just cool to see. Like, it's not just spinning pictures like what you normally see. Like, some of it's in a boxing ring, some of it's just in like a normal house. Fun fact, you can actually see a picture of Stephen Hawking in that house. And it's just really nice, and it actually represents both the characters. One last fun fact, I already told you, but another thing is, the man who's known for making letters, who was played by Lloyd, after the last verse of saying, "Get the heck out of my neighborhood," you see him walk up with a bat. Next rap. I've laid in I'ma leave before this battle begins. Episode 14, Christopher Columbus versus Clark Kent. I want to say, I love the intro to this battle. It's one of the first ones that just don't start with the announcer. It starts with like, oh, like nice choir, and then like, there's like just planets, and then one of the ships Columbus sailed on. It's so nice. Just seeing a nice little intro. It's kind of like the intro to Napoleon Vs Napoleon, where it's not just that. And then I just think it was funny because the beginning, it made me and my friends laugh really hard. It was he just walked in there. It just Christopher Columbus walked in there. It's like, I'm gonna leave before the battle begins. And I just think it's so funny because now we just keep saying it's like, it's just like we just started up and leave. And like he just left. The personalities are shown in this battle as well, like how Kirk speaks like kind of like a stunning captain. You know, it's really cool. They also play their characters well, you know, with Spock holding a phone. And he's like listening, and he's like, yep, I think it was funny. And also, I think the background being a wasted planet for Kirk and how Christopher Columbus has like a dark sea storm was really cool. Also, for a side note, did anybody notice at the end of that rap battle, there was no background for the, you know what I mean? Like, there's no background for Christopher Columbus at the end. Pretty weird. He's just kind of in the void dancing. It's kind of odd, but it doesn't stop this battle from being golden. Alright, we're in the home stretch, everybody. Episode 15, Peter versus EpicLLOYD. This is the final battle for Season 1, and honestly, it's eh. Yeah, I don't care for this one. I honestly think that this was just more of a long advertisement for Season 2. They have okay verses, and like the basic color backgrounds, and of course, an okay enough beat. Nothing bad, but a lackluster finale. But thank God I'm done talking about this for a while. And that was every episode of Epic Rap Battle of History Season 1 reviewed. Now, let's go look at the pie chart. Alright, let me just pull out the pie chart here. Ah, here it is. Alright, let's see. We got 7 golden, 5 eh, and 3 bad. I believe that just adds up to a season. They had very good raps, but also very bad ones. Like, I mean, horrendous ones. Stuff like this would feel more at home with season 5. And the end were very close to either golden or bad. But let's now move on to the worst raps. Alright, for worst, number 3, Dumbledore versus Gandalf. It's not as bad as the top 2, but being so boring I can't remember a single verse, I have to give it number 3. Number 2, Genghis Khan versus the Easter Bunny. Annoying contestant, a forgettable contestant, and also just being a very dumb matchup. Get this away from me. And number 1, Lady Gaga versus Sarah Palin. I ranted enough about this battle, so let me just say, play this when someone annoys you enough, and then they'll stop annoying you. Alright, now let's move on to the best. Number 3, Billy Mays versus Ben Franklin. Funny setup, funny conclusion, and of course that amazing in the beginning. Really makes my day, and I think you should watch that one. Number 2, Adolf Hitler versus Darth Vader. The start of an amazing trilogy that's way better than any Star Wars movie that came out in the 2010s. And number 1 is Albert Einstein versus Stephen Hawking. A truly amazing battle starting the amazing MC napkins. Watch this if you want a great laugh and a great rap battle. Well, thank you all for listening to this video. I've had a blast working on it, and I will plan to go all the way up to Season 6. And once Season 7 comes out, I'll listen to the raps and make Episode 7. I'm actually kind of hoping that the next rap battle, because I know the last one we got was Arthur the First and the other Viking, Norris, I believe, like based off that show Viking. Anyways, I know that's out, and that's the start of Season 7. Hopefully, we will get way more episodes now, because I understand why we didn't get any last year, but let me just say, this is a special shout out to Genghis for the lyrics and some of the extra info. The ERB fandom for actually giving me a lot of the extra info, like the King Franklin versus Billy Mays. And Pie Guy Rules for inspiring me with the format, because I actually like that format way more than I like any other big review format. And ERB for making the great content. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in Season 2. But first, I want to actually show off a trailer I will be working on in the future. Please have a look.